Hi, welcome to the Food Lovers Dietitian Menu Inspiration number 2. It's the second in the new series that I'm doing, where I'm giving you meals and snack ideas to show you how to use the Food Lovers Dietitian meal planner to tweak your own day and use your own foods, the foods that you'd enjoy, and make them into meals and snacks that also help you find and keep a healthy weight. So today's menu inspiration post I think you will really enjoy. There's a little surprise in there for you and that you'll enjoy, I'm sure. But I've also taken a lot of the ideas from the first menu inspiration post and just turned them around a little bit, and they look completely different in number 2. So it just shows you how you don't need a lot of recipes, and nor do you need a lot of ingredients to create meals and snacks that are really quite different from one another. It just needs a few little variations. So let's kick off and watch out for that little surprise. So for breakfast, I've actually taken a very similar idea to what I had in menu inspiration number 1. A piece of toast, which is a smaller carb serve, and I've put 1/4 of a dairy serve, tablespoon and a half of my cheesecake cream recipe that I've linked to in the post on top of that piece of toast, and I've put 1/2 cup of fruit. But I've used a slice of fruit toast this time, and actually instead of the cheesecake cream I've used yogurt, Greek yogurt, which I did mention last time was an alternative to the cheesecake cream. And I've used a ring of pineapple and a bit of poached apple, and I've topped it with a little bit more toasted muesli. Not a full serve of toasted muesli, probably about a 1/4 serve of toasted muesli. So that actually ends up being like a larger carb serve, same sort of size, and it is actually something that's a great idea if you're faced with a buffet, because there's often bread, yogurt, fruit, toasted muesli, but you go, oh, what am I going to do here to make this a little bit interesting? I actually made this snack in the Virgin Lounge, and I've posted a photo in the post of what I put together to do that. So that's a little idea for you. It's great for breakfast, but it's also great for an afternoon snack, especially using something like just a garnish of mint or a few flaked almonds if you've only used a small carb for lunch and not a couple in a sandwich. Then the morning snack is as simple as you can get. It's just low-fat, low-sugar yogurt. I've put a picture of the Yoplait Nestle Diet yogurt that I'm enjoying at the moment. I love the fruit ones, and that's been around for a while, and I think it's here to stay. So I use that one a lot. If you're on the run, you can take it in a tub. It's about 2/3 of a cup, or 160 grams, 170 grams of yogurt. So if there's not a lot of dairy in your other meals and snacks for the day, it can be quite good to just have a meal or a snack that's just yogurt. It means that you're not using 1/2 a fruit serve for the snack, and at another time of the day, you'll see tonight in the evening snack, you can use your whole piece of fruit. So it's just a way of moving around those fruit and dairy serves to suit yourself and give yourself a little bit more variety. Then for lunch, I've copied a similar idea to what I used in menu inspiration number 1, which was a warm chicken salad. So I sliced 40 grams of smaller protein
I think he's got similar to what you used.
Oh, okay.
All right. Just have a quick chat with him,
great.
and just see what his, and maybe have a look or whatever the case may be, because that might help clear things up.
Okay, thanks, I will.
Fry pan with a teaspoon of oil and some garlic, and serve them warm on top of a couple of cups of salad that I had on hand. I always use the baby beets in my salad. Canned baby beets are fine, and a bit of whatever I had on hand. And I served that with 1/2 a cup of canned chickpeas as well, which was my smaller carb serve. Could have been a slice of toast. It could have been 1/2 a can of corn, or quinoa, cooked rice, lots of things. Canned chickpeas are easy and go really well with a salad. Now, interestingly, what I've done there is I've used the larger protein serve for my lunch and the smaller protein serve for my dinner. You can swap that around to suit yourself. So I actually used 120 grams of raw weight prawns for this dish, and of course a couple of teaspoons of my favourite dressing, which I've linked to in the post. Then for afternoon tea, because I've only used one smaller carb for lunch and the equivalent of a larger carb for breakfast, I use a smaller carb for afternoon tea, but this is my surprise. It's not a slice of toast, it's a waffle. Who would have known that a waffle is just like a slice of toast? It's similarly made. It's mostly flour, a little bit of butter or fat, a little bit of the egg in the mix, a bit of sugar, but calorie-wise, nutrient profile-wise, it's very similar to a slice of white bread. So it doesn't have the fibre and the whole grain things like that a slice of grain bread does. But in terms of having a bit of variety, something special, you can think of it like a slice of bread. And similarly to what I did in Menu Inspiration 1, I've teamed it with some half serve of fruit. So this time it's berries, half a cup of berries, and I've used the cheesecake cream not to spread on the waffle like I did on the toast for Menu Inspiration 1, but as a dollop of, like you would use cream. So that's actually, looks like a very luxurious snack, but actually it's just a smaller carb serve, a quarter of a dairy serve, and half a fruit serve. Easy. Also something that would go well for a weekend breakfast. That would be very nice. And here's another pro tip. Did you know that just a small scone, or a small pancake or pikelet is also just like a slice of bread. You can use them similarly. They don't fill you up quite as much as a slice of bread, but for variety and a bit of fun and something different, they're fine. And I think if you build half a serve of interesting fruits on it and top it with a quarter of a serve of dairy, then it does become quite a filling snack. So it's a great idea for you. Then dinner, I've done something different again. I've actually stuffed an eggplant. Each serve is actually just half an eggplant, and in the middle there I've stuffed it with some cooked mince in pasta sauce. Actually, to be totally honest, it was some bolognese sauce that I had left over. And in there, usually a larger protein serve would be half a cup. This is just, in each eggplant is a quarter of a cup. So I've actually followed Melanie McGrice's recipe, which I've linked to. And she used 200 grams of raw lean mince and 2 eggplants. And I've used that to make four serves of stuffed eggplant. I've also put a couple of cups of chickpeas in, so everybody gets half a cup of chickpeas, and the other ingredients that she suggested. I actually used some pasta sauce too. I didn't use all the raisins that she used. I just used a very small amount of raisins because they're quite, you know, as soon as you start using raisins or sultanas, you've used a serve of fruit. You don't need many tablespoons. And I didn't actually use the Parmesan cheese, I used feta. I prefer using feta because it's easier to crumble a small amount. It's also tastier and a little bit goes a long way, so I've used the feta as well. So those tweaks are there on the post for you to see. But look, you can stuff all sorts of vegetables with a similar filling, and it's a really delicious dish. So it's a very versatile idea that uses a small serve of protein and 3 or more vegetables, depending on whether you serve it with the side salad, just a quarter of a serve of dairy with the feta, and a smaller carb serve with the chickpeas. So a delicious dish, and a fat serve for the recipe to fry off the meat and the ingredients. So enjoy that. Then lastly is the evening snack or the dessert. And like I mentioned before, I used a whole serve of fruit for that because I've only used another couple of half serves for breakfast and the afternoon snack. So there's still a whole serve of fruit that I haven't used, but I'm starting to run out of dairy. So I've actually used a similar idea to what I used in Menu Inspiration number 1, the red wine poached pear. But when I was poaching these pears, I didn't have any red wine, so I've just done them with the diet lemonade that's in the recipe. You can do any fruit this way, especially the sort that perhaps doesn't lend itself to red wine. It doesn't look as beautiful as the red wine poached pear, and you'll see that when you have a look at the photo, but still equally as delicious. And I've served that with a dollop, a tablespoon and a half of the cheesecake cream. So that's 1/4 of a dairy serve and a whole fruit serve, because I've used 2 of the pear halves. So all in all, for the whole day, I've ended up covering all those food group serves from the Food Lovers Dietitian Meal Planner that you can download through the link. And I really encourage you to do that, because it's great to have the PDF to save on your phone. It keeps it really handy. So if you have any ideas about other vegetables that you could stuff, please post a comment on the Facebook page and let me know. If you use any of these ideas to cook your own meals or snacks, then please do post a photo on the Facebook page so we can all see how you've taken similar ideas and made them your own and used your own foods that you love, because that's the whole idea. These are just ideas, things that work for me, things that use the foods that I like and the way that I like to eat. But it's a way to encourage you to eat the foods and the meals that you like, but just to manipulate the portions and the amount that you put in a meal so that it matches your healthy weight dreams. So good luck with that. Do sign up for the news so that you can get the next menu inspiration, and follow on Instagram for more day-to-day inspiration posts as well. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you again for menu inspiration number 3.